Good afternoon to the good people. Good afternoon to the bad people, friends and enemies. Good afternoon, boom, shakalaka to you all. I am Chris Bass. Welcome back to the Precursor. We do this every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central. Let's see, as we venture off real quick to the peanut gallery there in the comment section. How you doing on Wednesday afternoon? Greetings to Barbara Jean. Thank you, Barbara Jean, for coming on board as always. Barbara Jean doesn't sleep. I realize that. You may say you sleep, but I think you're a lie. Only reason why I'm saying that is because one of my Barbara Jeans that she's always on social media, always, even before social media became popular. Barbara Jean at the forefront. And so when I look online, for example, WVON, the Talk of the Nation, of course, has a site on Facebook, and she's on those shows as well. Rufus Williams, I think his name is, that comes on in the morning. She's on there. The other programs on there as well through the comment section. She comes here when she has time. Jesse Jackson Jr.'s program, she's on there in the comment section. Even at night, when she should be sleeping, when she should be calling hogs, in the comment section for bedtime stories with my man Dr. Al Greer. Not hating, mind you. I'm concerned for your well being because your ass don't sleep. I don't think you do. Barbara Jones on the on the YouTube channel. YouTube channel, of course, is Chris Bass, the Chris Bass channel, all one word, with a dot at the end of channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. Yes, okay, thank you. Yeah, Rufus Williams does a very nice talk program there on WVON in the mornings. I'll just say this, and it's not a knock on Rufus. I don't know the man. I just know when I see every now and again on Facebook live when he does his show from VON. So I noticed that before I get into the show, now this comes to my mind that they have D.O. Hughley on before him. Now I've not heard WVON in a long time. My guess is that it's from the day before because obviously he can't do the show live in the mornings. He does the afternoon show going back to D.O. Hughley. So I wonder about that. That's an interesting move to put him on. Now, usually when that happens, that's because if a syndicated show is trying to sell airtime, it looks better, of course, if it's in major markets. So I don't know what other markets D.O. Hughley's show airs on, but a third largest market, Chicago, that's very impressive. So it doesn't matter really what time as long as it's on. So that could be it. I think. That'll be my guess. The Precursor, of course, we do things differently here. Primarily offset to, of course, it's the Precursor 2 baseline. Same time on Fridays at 4 p.m. Central. Okay, Barbara Jean types KBLA. So he's on live, meaning D.O. Hughley on KBLA. Okay, got it. U.S. military has seized an oil tanker off Venezuela's coast. President Trump told reporters today as his administration continues to escalate military activity in the region. And again, when going back to the program, this program, stick with the program. You don't free your mind until Friday. Comment on the topic, cool beans. As you probably know, we seized a tanker on the coast of Venezuela, Trump said. Large tanker, very large, largest one ever seized, actually. I swear to God, this man is 5 years old. Trump did not provide details on the seizure, but said it was an interesting day. He also hinted that more news will be released, including photos, but did not offer a specific timeline. You'll discuss that with the appropriate people later on, Trump said. But no, it was seized for a very good reason. Oil prices began steadily rising as reports of the seize circulated throughout the day, rising more than 1.3%, or about 75 cents as of 3:45 p.m. Eastern Time. The price of crude oil is one of the primary factors in the price consumers pay at the gas pump. News on the seizure comes after Trump told Politico in an interview published Tuesday that Venezuelan President Maduro's days are numbered. Trump declined to comment to Politico on whether the U.S. could send troops to the country. His administration has built up a military presence in the region over the last month, including sending the USS Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier to the Caribbean. The vessel is host to squadrons of fighter jets and guided missile destroyers. The U.S. has been striking alleged drug vessels in the Caribbean since September. Trump has justified the strikes by characterizing the U.S. as being in an armed conflict with drug cartel and describing the boats as being operated by foreign terrorist organizations. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has come under scrutiny for a September 2nd strike on a boat that included a secondary hit, killing two survivors of the initial attack. Critics have questioned whether the double tap constituted a war crime. Hegseth defended the strike by citing the fog of war, saying he didn't personally see the survivors before another hit was approved. Okay. Let's see. Barbara Jean, I can't stand that the smelly orange gas bag, or the, yep, bully racist bigot that occupies the 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue address. Yeah, I go along with that. Oh, Tom Treadup. Tom Treadup is a Merry Christmas early, Dr. Bass, and same to you, Dr. Treadup. Absolutely. How are you doing? How's your family? For those you may not know, Mr. Treadup is my former boss, president, and general manager at WLS AM and FM. Okay, it says salute. I'm not familiar with the handle now. Who are you? I see the picture there, but I'm not connecting the name, so gotta give me a name. So when people come on and say salute or what's up, if I don't see your name on there, I don't know who the hell you are. So let me know who you are. And if you're a friend, thank you. If you're a foe, thank you again. I'll go back to Barbara Jim, what you type. So yeah, the advancement of what he's doing is to constantly hold on. AB Media 83. You gotta give me okay, that's your handle, but give me your name. What's your name is what I'm looking at. Once again, thanks for being here, but what is your name? Because you could be friend or foe. I don't know. Gotta give me a name. Once again, I get that. I get that AB Media 83. I got that, but what is your name? Albert. Okay, now do I know you, Albert, or you just on here for the first time? Good evening, L. How you doing? Thank you so much for being here. As always, thank you for taking the time out to be a part of the program. So, as I said before, when you look at the state of where we are right now, and I've been covering news for many, many moons, and in my lifetime, I never saw a president insert himself into everything. Literally, even going back to this whole funky thing about him hosting the hosting the the Kennedy Honors, and wanted to rename the Kennedy Honor Center the Trump uh, Honor Center. Yeah. On here for the first time. Okay, thank you. How'd you hear the program? How'd you hear about this? Always interested when first timers come on here. So again, we look at it from a military perspective. You are hiring people or have hired people who are incompetent, whether it's this cabinet or any other cabinet. I mean, you have Linda McMahon, who was the wife of Vince McMahon, same one from the WWE, be in charge of education. RK Jr., who really has become an embarrassment to his whole family, single handedly, by himself. And that right there is a problem. Now, again, politically, you could be who you want to be. You could be Democrat, Republican, um, a kumquat. I don't know. You could be whatever you want to be politically, but from the alignment of what RK Jr.'s family has always been, we've always been Democrat. And for him to side with someone like Trump is just it's still amazing to me that he's in charge of I don't sound of medicine. I don't and health that bothers me. You think it would bother you too, but yeah, these people out here once again embracing it like it's good and it's not. Lawmakers from both parties in the House and Senate have started inquiries into the administration's attack on these boats. Maduro has accused the U.S. of trying to fabricate a war against him. The Venezuelan president was charged in 2020 during the Trump's first administration with narco terrorism and conspiracy to import cocaine. Trump reached an offer recently offered a $50 million dollar reward for Maduro's arrest. Yeah, it would be the point of again creating a plausible diversion that Trump and administration already continues to do. It goes back to the Epstein files. You hate repeating it, but it goes back to that. And they'll be coming out soon. They'll be releasing soon in this month. But it's the fact that all these distractions are getting in the way of what is in those files. I've never seen an entire cabinet completely incompetent L types. Yeah, it's a bizarro world. It really is. I would like to try to get a guest. I mentioned this before to myself, I should say. Get a guest on here who voted for Trump, who is Republican, and how they feel about what's going on currently. I mean, really think about it. Now, if I was Republican, I never go to the dark side, mind you, but just say for the sake of argument, if I was Republican and I voted for Trump, I'd be pissed. Just that simple. Pissed to the highest point of passivity. And the promises he made, the promises, remember promises kept? No, Lord. That was going on now. Far from it. Promises broken. And once again, I can understand you saying these things to people who don't believe in you because they peeped your whole card already. But people who believed in you and those people got screwed, it has to hurt. You probably got so screwed you can't even sit down for a week or two. I know it hurts, but that's your guy. So how do you feel now? The first year of this man's administration, how do you feel? And again, you had an opportunity to stay away from that. And it's not like you didn't know. Of course, the man was president, before. But you must like it. You must enjoy. You must revel in it. To have someone come along and just destroy life as you know it. We have farmers here who are struggling. The kind of soybean and farmers who just crops are going to crap because you want to buy food from other countries, buy soybean from other countries, and not take care of the farmers here in this country. People, everyday people, are suffering. The economy is high. Everything is jacked up price-wise. And it's hard to save and scrimp when you're going to take that money you saved and scrimped and put it towards someone else. So you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. I would say now more so than ever in our current history. I know I thought of doing that, but let's see, I realized my limitations on stupidity. Well, see, that's what L types, all sorts of types. They thought it wasn't going to be them. Right. Yeah, he's going to screw them over, not me. I'm a loyal MAGA person. I'm a loyal Trumpite. Trumpite. So he won't do it to me, but he did. In 3D, bent you over and gave you a hard one. So you must have some sort of resentment or must have some sort of anger. I'd be curious because some of these people out here like it. They'll take it and like it. And it affects everybody, not just both sides of the aisle or people you represent or people represent you. Everybody's being affected. Except the fat cats, of course. But the rest of us who are not fat cats from the standpoint of deep pockets of money, we don't have that. When Trump took the stage, this past Tuesday, he was expected to address concerns about affordability and the state of the U.S. economy. Over the course of a sprawling 90-minute speech in Pennsylvania, he did talk about the economy, but also immigration, his Democratic critics, Venezuelan boat strikes, that was a tip, windmills, and golfing. If some Republicans and his White House aides were hoping for a focused message that the party could use to deflect repeated Democratic attacks over the economy, Trump did little to deliver. Instead, he was typically this Trump rally speech with his quote-unquote weave. He likes to describe his style of frequent rhetorical tangents on full display. He said Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, who he calls Susie Trump, has instructed him to focus on the economy. He complained that his advisors not wanting him to talk about border security, which he talked about anyway. I haven't read particularly anything off this stupid teleprompter, Trump said about an hour into his speech. And when he did talk about the economy, Trump's message was that things were bad during his predecessor's term, they were getting better now, and that the best is yet to come. Quote, I have no higher priority than making America affordable again. They cause high prices and we're bringing them down. Displaying a series of charts, he contracted the economy under his predecessor. Let's go to the phones and see who this is. Welcome to the Precursor. Who is this?
This is Elle.
Hey, Elle, how you doing? Good to hear from you. How's everything?
Good. How are you?
Good.
You know, this is one of my favorite conversations, so I have to call you. I can't keep texting all this stuff.
Yeah, you might get a finger cramp. I don't want you to do that for yourself. Elle, you have the floor. What's on your mind?
Just the one thing you said, people, do they know? Do they know what Trump was going to do? And I think they had to know. And if you did know, that's the only word I can say is that you're stupid. I don't even like to use the word. I always tell my students not to use that word, but that's the only thing that works for these people. Because I'm still seeing commercials even today. This guy, I think, in South Dakota, running for governor, and he's like, I want to thank President Trump. He's been doing so much for the economy, and I want to help him continue to doing what he's doing. And I'm looking like, what are you talking about? You're growing the economy. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You just choose. I think that people just choose to see what they want to see. That's the problem.
I also think part of the problem, L, is that you must have a low feeling for yourself to get behind a person who is nothing but destruction and evil. And what does that say about you? And you knew it. Once again, you had the 1.0 in the first administration with Trump, and you knew what he was going to do going into the second term, which was the election, if he was getting back into office. You knew this, and still chose.
And that's why it's hard for me to say, "Oh, I pity you," because, like you said, you saw what he did just the first time,
right?
And you think that he wasn't going to do it the second time and be even worse. That's why I said common sense is just not common. That's like our favorite phrase on the show. You have no common sense. This man is the worst of the worst. I lose words most days because I said he's just a piece of shit. Pardon my French on your show. I'm sorry.
Right. No, you're good. We swear here.
He's a piece of crap.
Yeah.
But I mean, he is the biggest piece of nothing that I've ever seen in my life. And for people to even say that, I got even thought I was saying this. I agree with Margaret Taylor Greene. Now you know how effed up that guy has to be. Because Margaret Taylor Greene was somebody I wanted to slap for years. But now she goes on national television. She talks about how I like what she said when she interviewed. She says all the men that's up there. She said they are weak, and they all laughed at him and talked about him. And then as soon as he got the nomination, then they fell in line. How pathetic are you to call yourself a man?
You can't.
Is that that this man is nothing, but yet still you just bite the bullet and say, okay, I'm gonna do what you say, sir, and you know what's wrong. I don't understand that. I don't understand that thinking.
Well, here's the thing too. Someone like Mark Rubio or Ted Cruz, for example. Ted Cruz.
Oh God.
Here's Trump talked about Ted Cruz's wife.
Yep.
About how ugly she was.
Yep.
And talked about possibly Ted Cruz's father being a part of the JFK conspiracy to get him assassinated.
Okay.
And you're saying these things, mostly the wife. Don't get me wrong, his father is very important. But you gotta go home to your wife. And I know my head is like, I know the wife can't accept this shit. You gotta go back and you didn't even defend your wife. Not at all.
But here's the thing: she has to be just like them. They are just they eager for money, for notoriety, public. They're for all they're hungry for all of that. So apparently she accepted it because why not divorce him? There's no way you be able to tell me, that my husband is a piece of this, and then I'm still going to accept that and then still stay married to you. So she's just like them. They have their own agenda. I've known people who have they will sell their souls for a dime or a dollar in notoriety. That's what I think is shameful. You have no conscience. You have no values. And Republicans, if anybody thinks we're the party of morals and values, stop. Save it. No, you have no morals, no ethics, no nothing. Nothing. And I've watched Republicans for decades. Sometimes, they always agree to disagree with Democrats or whatever. But there's always sometimes at some point where they can come together and solve a problem or reach across the aisle or whatever. These here, nothing. Whatever Donald Trump says is gospel. And he is the dumbest president in American history. I thought Nixon was bad. Oh, hell, Nixon was the same just about now. Because this here, here is a demon.
Well, here's the thing about Nixon. Nixon was brilliant. Nixon was smart. Just Nixon was paranoid. That was his thing. He was paranoid. He didn't like his looks. He was all about himself, like most egotistical people were. But the one thing I give him credit for, if you go back and watch the way he handled foreign affairs, and I give credit when credit's due, he was probably one of the most masterful tacticians of foreign affairs that I ever read about and seen on videos on YouTube. I give him that. Other than that, no, I can't give him no more. But the thing about Nixon is that at least in that situation, I tell people about, well, how come Trump got all these, how come he won't leave the office? For an indictment, you can be indicted, but you can't. You don't have to leave the office. That's the thing about it. When you get these situations where Nixon left because the party asked him to step down. Right. So when you get that, that's a whole different thing. I mean, he just did that out of, I guess, the last part of respect for the Republican Party, and he goes and there's the plane and the 2-piece fingers, and he's out. like that. But what we're dealing with here is someone who said that, and he told you he was going to bring back, he was going to go into Project 2025 because
Yes.
everything that's happening is in that writing. And a little bit I've seen of it. It's a lot of pages, but if you take time to look online and check it out, what you're seeing right now is in Project 2025. So he's what I call him is the agent of evil, who Trump is. And so again, there's just people who are around him who don't care, because if they cared about America, they wouldn't be in the position they are right now. They want money. They want power and privilege.
And that's why he chose them.
Yes.
He chose because he knew that he could run them, because all they want, like you said, is money and power, and he can manipulate them to do what he want to do.
Right.
I don't think Trump is a smart man by no stretch of the imagination, because that Project 2025 wasn't even written by him. What's the guy named that's still on the military base right now because they fear for their safety? What is his name? He wrote this Project 2025. What is his name?
I can't think of the name right now. But I know.
But he's not on military. He's the one that did that. So they're the ones who's running Trump. He's just the figurehead doing that dirt. But they're the ones who's doing everything. Yeah. Because they want America white or be right or whatever. The things they're doing is just absolutely deplorable.
Well, in this story I was about to get into about this rally that he was a part of on Tuesday, what he loves is that all that attention. So he does the rally in Pennsylvania on Tuesday, and he's back in the limelight. Excuse my language. Fuck the teleprompter. I go off script, and that's where he lives and breathes at. He's in front of the people. He's saying all this dumb shit, and they eat it up like candy, and that's where he lives and breathes at. If you took that away from Trump, that's it. Because, for example, if he was to, I don't think so. He has too many people around him, but who are in bed with him. If he was to be convicted and say go to Mar-a-Lago with the wrist anklet and stuff like that, I'm sorry, the anklet on his, monitor anklet, things like that. If you took no more press, no more microphone, no more audience, no more nothing, that would destroy him, because all that attention would be gone. All of it would be gone. Yeah. So there you go.
Most certainly. Well, I was interviewing someone yesterday. We were talking about narcissism.
Yes.
And I brought it up to him. I said, because he was in the UK. I said, you all see what we have in the White House. That is the what you call classic narcissistic behavior.
Yes, I agree.
Everything is about him. He has everything has to be on him. He wants to see his name, and he don't care what it's about. Just keep talking about him. That's all Trump wants. He doesn't care, good, bad, or indifferent. Just keep my name out there so the public can hear. My thing is, I never thought in this country people would be so naive as to follow a man that is wrong. But then I look at so many of them, like the guy Ellison, that he's David Ellison, who I think was one Paramount, bought it to Paramount. And I said, how greedy do you people have to be? You're so pissed off that Warner Brothers is in bed with Netflix now, but your father was a billionaire. You were raised with all kind of money, and so you're not pissed off because you didn't get a chance to sit down and create a monopoly and have control over all these networks. So all this is about people that are just greedy and selfish. So the more they can get, the more they want to take.
Let me ask you this question. So. And I mentioned before that, as you know, El, being the host yourself, so he, meaning Trump, was going to host the Kennedy Center Honor Awards. It will be broadcast on CBS. One of the participants and honorees is Gloria Gaynor.
So disgusting.
Right. So right. Let me get it out the question. Let me get the question out. Okay. So Gloria Gaynor has been supporting Trump all these years with her financial campaigns to him all these years, and now this is just payback for Trump to give her the Kennedy Center honors. What's your take on that?
I read that about a couple months ago, and because everybody loves the song, and I've always enjoyed watching her perform. But I really couldn't believe it. I was like, it has to be a lie. So I started doing more research. And just like you just thrown out there, I see she had been giving him campaign, supporting his campaign for years.
Yes.
And I don't help me understand how a person of color, be it Black, Hispanic, whatever, how do you trust anything that man says? And how, because you can't justify it to me. There's no way she can sit across from me and say, well, I think he's good at this. I think he's a good businessman. I think he's this. He's not even a good businessman. Right. He was bankrupt multiple times. His daddy bailed him out for decades. So people can stop yelling that. There's nothing good about his business acumen because he has none.
Correct.
You know he lied, so you're gonna sit there and tell me to my face that he didn't lie about turning the economy around. People talking about the price of eggs when before election time. Now you all don't give a damn about the egg. You don't say anything about the eggs when they $10 for a carton of eggs right now, right? But when Biden was in the office, it was about the eggs, the milk, all the so everybody always they want to flip the script. So now you don't now you want to say, oh, he didn't say all that, or just completely forget what he said.
Yeah.
But Gloria Gaynor, just like Gloria Gaynor, Sylvester Stallone, all of them.
Yeah.
Just now, recently, I think the actor Lorenzo Lamas came out and said that he support Trump as well. And I started thinking, like, what is? I said, are you don't want minorities, you don't want to deal with minorities, or you think white is just completely right all the time? So you just erase all of the dirt that he's done, all the convictions he's had, all of that, and you just look over and say, oh, but he's a good guy. How do you do that to yourself? How do you do that?
Unless you always been like-minded, like him. See, that's I got to factor in that too. See, we're not, of course, privy to their private lives, and nor do I want to be. But I think that for them to get on board, they must have a certain acumen that they agree with Trump on. They must think like him or similar to what he's been doing or saying for them to get on board and support him. So everything is like-mindedness.
But tell me, I just want to know what that is. When people say like-minded, I know what I believe in it. But when you say like-minded, because what does he say? This is what I've never been able to understand about that. What does Trump say to you all to get you all so riled, get people so riled up, and they want to follow him? Because anytime I listen to him for like 5 seconds, he's just a blubbering idiot. Yeah. He says nothing that makes sense to me. Anything I can even get behind. So are your brain just scrambled every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? Because that's all I get from him. Nothing makes sense to me.
Well, I think what makes sense to certain people is that, and regardless of having a scrambled brain, these people out here got, 9 to 5 high profile jobs and still voted for him. I think certain minutiae of what he's been saying over the years, they agree with. They may not agree with everything, but something he said, they agree with. For example, the one and only debate he had with Kamala Harris. So remember off about they're going to eat the dogs, eat the cats, everything else.
Yes,
so I was watching ABC and they went to some conservatives after the debate and they were like, okay, well, that was, I don't like that part, but I'll still vote for him. See what I'm saying? I don't know how you can separate all of it. Regardless of what he said about something stupid, they're going to vote for him anyway, and they did.
And then look at the guy that's over like the Somalians, where he just sent them to Minnesota, right? He just sent them to Minnesota. The guy, the Somalian, was understand. Well, he said that he wasn't going to, going to do this to us and so and so. And now he's done it, and I'm like, but you still voted for him. How do you do that? So you're your own worst enemy. He's sitting back and he's acting because I can tell them anything and they'll believe it, and then you will fall for it.
But there's no loyalty with Trump. I mean, none whatsoever. And like I said, he turned his back on his own people. When he got into all the second time, all the stuff he was said he's going to do, he's going to take care of the economy and jobs be better and make America white. I'm sorry, make America great again and stuff like that there. So he gets into office, does rec shop. Every vote that went his way, he did not take not one iota to try to even do what's right from the standpoint of what he said to his own people. So when you screw your own people over, that right there should be a message, if not anything but, I said it before on this program and other programs, Al, when he said grab by the pussy all those years ago, when he said that, I said, okay, it's no way in the world people are going to vote for this man, but they did anyway. They justified his behavior. Those white women from the suburbs went on television. Oh, I wasn't offended, just locker room talk. That's how men talk amongst themselves. So it's okay. You can grab my pussy any day of the week. They justified it.
And that word right there, as I said all the time, so how do you justify the behavior of someone like that? That is a question that I would have, that I would like to put, and I put to a Republican, but that's why I say in my comments, I can't do it because I can't limit myself from the anger, because then I would just look at you and say, you're just stupid. I literally say every day, I try not to use that word, and I taught my students that's not a good word. But damn it, Chris, that's the only word that I can say that sums up what is going on right now in this country and with that entire cabinet.
Well, you know what, Elle, it's great to hear your voice again. I always appreciate you and your show and your daughter and your grandson. I get a kick out of when you do your video and everything else. I mean, it's so great to hear your voice. Tell everybody where you can find you at, and also do me a favor before you go. Type in information about your show in the comment section. So where can they find your program at?
Okay. Well, we're on Mondays at 6 p.m. and Tuesdays at Mondays at 5:30 p.m. and Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. So you'll catch it on all of the social media, and whatever country or state you're in, just check your local time, and then you'll find us. But yeah, we're there every Monday at 5:30 and every Tuesday at 6 o'clock when we have a special guest coming on, interviews and stuff like that. Thank you so much. I love talking to you, Chris.
Oh, same here. What's the name of your show? Tell everybody the name of your show.
Oh, something to talk about on Mondays. So we talk about everything, kind of like what Chris is doing. Well, we talk about Chris has been on before, so you guys check it out. We have a great conversation, a great time always. And Dr. Fight is with us as well as my daughter too.
Give my best to your daughter. Give my best to your grandson and Dr. Fight, the whole family there. Happy holidays. I don't talk to you before. Happy holidays to you and your family.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care, y'all. Thanks again. Bye-bye. Yeah, it keeps going on, going back to Trump. And again, like I said before, I know hate's a strong word to talk about it, but it has to be discussed. Let's see. Go back to the comment section here. Great call from L. Thank you, L. Look, Omar says, hello, Chris. Happy Wednesday, buddy. Happy Wednesday to you, too. Oh, great call on we was talking Wednesday on Free Your Mind, and Omar called up. And I want to give you props about we were talking about The Price is Right, and we're talking about the host after Bob Barker, who became, of course, Drew Carey, but we were talking about other people. I mentioned about sportscaster and host of sports programming, a man, Dan Patrick. And so Omar mentioned about actor George Hamilton, which I had no idea, none. I went back and checked out for myself. So, man, Omar, I should say Professor Montgomery. So thank you, Professor. Everybody's a professor around here. I'm a professor, you professor, and things like that. But good stuff, Doc. Good stuff on that call. I didn't have no idea. That's how you learn. Let's see, going back to Trump, again, when he was doing the rally on Tuesday, displaying a series of charts, he contrasted the economy under predecessor Joe Biden with current levels. He noted the gas prices, interest rates, and inflation were down, and that real wage growth was up. Although he compared the conditions at the end of the Biden presidency, the numbers show little change. Let's see. No problem, Omar? Yeah, not a problem, man. Good stuff, Doc. Trump also defended his tariff policies, which some economists have cited as contributing to cost of living woes. Harkening back to comments he made earlier this year, Trump said Americans could get with fewer, cheaper products imported from China, like pencils and dolls, as a price for bolstering as to domestic manufacturing in key industries like the steel sector. You don't need $37 for your daughter. 2 or 3 is nice. Okay. Such reasoning and Trump's insistence, yet again, that affordability concerns were a Democratic hoax may not land well with Republicans, though, unlike Trump, will be on the ballot in next year's midterm elections. Old playbook. Old playbook. It doesn't work, old man. It doesn't work. You can throw in Biden all you want to. Biden is a former president. This is your time now. And the economy is not good. It's not good, man. But yeah, never take responsibility. Always deflect and pass the responsibility to somebody else. Yes, I know the two intertwine, but still, that's part of the old playbook. And you would think that the playbook now is getting getting kind of stale. It's been stale for a while. A 31-year-old was taken into custody after his father, Jubilant Sykes, a renowned opera singer, was found dead inside a home in Santa Monica, California. Officers responded to a report of an assault at a home in the 1700 block of Delaware Avenue Monday night. When officers arrived, the victim's wife was at the door. Police said 71-year-old Jubilant Sykes was found with critical injuries consistent with stabbing and pronounced dead at the scene. Micah Sykes, the victim's son, was found inside the home and was later taken into custody, according to the police. The suspect will be booked for homicide, and the case will be presented in the LA County District Attorney's Office for filing consideration, said the police in a statement released Tuesday morning. Forensic specialists were seen processing evidence early Tuesday morning. Police said the weapon has since been removed. It's unclear what led to the incident. I walked over and saw the crime tape and knew that something big had happened, said a neighbor who did not want to be ID'd. The coroner was here, and it's just a very quiet neighborhood. It's very scary. I heard it was a domestic dispute, but it's just sad when that happens around the holidays. Investigators told KABC, their sister station there in Los Angeles, the suspect has a history of mental health struggles and was cooperating with police. Meantime, there are no threats to surrounding the community. Sykes was a well-known Grammy-nominated opera singer with a career that spanned decades. He sang at hundreds of major venues around the world, as well as the Kennedy Center and Carnegie Hall. Vienna Hayes, the cousin of the victim, said he was an amazing singer, an amazing person, an amazing personality. He was just a light. They describe him as an artist who remained devoted to his community in spite of his success. He's already doing things throughout the world, but never forgot where he came from, said Pam Forbes. Anyone with this information on the incident is being asked to contact SMPD Detective Peter Samaroff by calling 310-458-8451. Again, Zamaroff, which is spelled Z as in xylophone, ZAMFIROV. So again, the calling number is 310 458-8451. Got it. Going blind, y'all. Not seriously, but shit, damn bitch. I gotta get new glasses. I have them. I found some old glasses. Sometimes I find some old glasses and start to work again, but yeah, what can I say? Going back to this murder. The one person, I think in the story had a very interesting take about the neighbors said it was sad around the holidays. And it is sad. My dad was a mortician, and my dad always said that around the holidays, that's when it got the most bodies at the funeral home. He was manager at Airlie Funeral here on the south side of Chicago, and told us that's when a lot of people die around the holidays, regardless of what the situation is. Our prayers and thoughts go out to the family in this horrific situation. Our thoughts and prayers continue to them because that is beyond getting your mind around. See, back to the comments. What's up, Lydell? My man Lydell Redmond. How you doing, man? Good to see you. How you feeling? How's your family? And it just continues on when you look at this type of behavior pattern that's around. And what I always tell you is it's pure evil. That's what I think it is. I don't have any other words for it. You describe it all day long, but I just believe it's evil. Smokey Robinson and his wife Frances have asked the court for a temporary restraining order against one of the women accusing the star of sexual assault, claiming she broke into their storage unit last month and stole thousands of dollars worth of items. Robinson's legal team filed the proposed order on Monday, December 8th, the same day they claim to have learned that on November 22nd, a woman identified as only Jane Doe 4, and two accomplices spent 40 minutes in their storage unit, stole a number of boxes containing personal property, and drove away. As absurd as this turn of events might seem, it is yet another example of how Jane Doe 4 and her group of accusers are motivated by greed, even the pettiest kind. This was said by Christopher Frost, who is Robertson's attorney, said in a statement. Beyond absurdity, it is also alarming that she has complained and she has retained and is exploiting access to the Robinsons' property, and we are taking swift action to ensure that Jane Doe 4 and those assisting her cannot go near the Robinsons, a couple in their 70s and 80s, because there seem to be no limits of what they are willing to do. Now, in the statement, Jane Doe's lawyers slammed the claim of patently being false and said they represent a desperate fabrication intended to retaliate against Jane Doe 4 following her damning testimony during her December 5th deposition. These baseless claims are nothing more than an attempt to distract and deflect from the serious new allegations brought by Jane Doe 1 and Jane Doe 5, whose filings further underscore the gravity of the misconduct at issue. With respect to the Robinsons' allegation that Jane Doe 4 broke into their storage unit, our client vehemently denies ever having visited that unit at any time since leaving her employment with the Robinsons. Goes on to say that Jane Doe 4 was one of four women accused, saying that Robinson, who's 85, of sexual assault and harassment in a $50 million lawsuit filed in May. She alleged at the time that she was forced to resign in 2024 as a housekeeper and assistant to do repeated sexual assaults and sexual harassment. In Robinson's latest filing, he and Francis said Jane Doe 4 gained access to the storage unit using a key she held onto after leaving her job. Mm. You hate for this to be true. I mean, Smokey Robinson is a national treasure. Been around for years. Smokey Robinson, The Miracles, Motown. Being with you, Quiet Storm, the whole gamut. Don't get me wrong. People who are in power on any level divvies out the privileges, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. And so we have to wait and see, but it's just a very interesting story where you just have these women coming forward from Jane Doe 1 to Jane Doe 5 saying that Mr. Robinson had sexually harassed them while they were employed by him and his company. Story like this just give me chills because anybody is capable of anything. We got that established. And so sometimes when it comes to celebrities, we, as I guess just regular folk, put these people on pedestals. It's like back in the days of Greece, you had the Greek gods that normal people looked up to. And the same goes here with entertainers, sports figures, people on television, the whole nine. It's hero worship. And it comes with the territory. Radio, internet, doesn't matter. You just have people who they like what they like and they follow who they follow. But I think sometimes with certain people who are in positions to be followed, you might get second wind of the fact that never had to be. You just lucked into a situation where people love what you do, whatever your art form is. You can't control that. People like what they like, they follow you, and then there you go. Content, the whole nine. So it gets to a point where you hope and realize that when all this is going down, we don't want our heroes to tumble off the pedestal. We want them to succeed. We want to continue to praise and love them. That's what we want to continue to happen. But if it doesn't happen, and it's the same adage, the same people you see on the way up is the same people you see on the way down. It always happens. Always happens. I mean, what I've seen of Smokey Robinson over the years, the man is legendary. So we'll keep you afoot on that story when we get more, new details. On a personal note, I want to thank all of you out there who's checking me out. I want to give a personal thank you. I received another conversation starter badge from Facebook. This is my second one, and I wonder if Facebook got the right Chris Space. I know there's like 15,000 of us on social media, but for the record, this humbles me. It's very nice to be appreciated. All of you taking the time out to check out my content and actually like it. If you don't like it, that's cool too, because you're watching, checking it out. But yeah, again, I thank you for this honor. Some people may not look at it as no big deal, but I think it's a big deal because again, social media, it's hard to get recognized because it's you and a gazillion people out here. But and I hope Facebook ain't trying to pull my chain and just give out stuff like this. But if it's true, then again, thank you out there for taking the time out to check me out and like the content. It really means a lot to me. So thank you so much. Go out to One Stick Diggy. How you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Thank you very much. Stick also types. Always happy to support my brother. Thank you so much. Thank you. What's up, Jed? Good to see the algorithm finally getting a clue. Congrats, Base Nation, on the momentum. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Jed. Yeah, yeah. It's algorithms are just go sideways and slantways and things like that, and miss the cue all the time. But it's nice to be recognized. It really is. There have been many times like I thought about quitting, just chucking the whole thing. Thought about always, and it come to mind. And then something happens, which I do believe is God telling me I have more work to do. So I can't disobey God. So I got more work to do. It becomes frustrating, like anything else, when you look at your life and you found something you love to do since you were 6 years old. You wanted to do since you were six, since you heard radio coming out of a radio device, a radio itself, and you look at it and it's like, man, I want to be a part of that. And then you do, and sometimes life has a way of having its own plans. You may have plans for your life, and sometimes it goes the way, sometimes it doesn't. And so, in my mind, the definition of radio then as success and the whole thing coming along with it, somebody has to believe in you. This is all walks of life. We're talking about radio in particular right now. Somebody has to believe in you, and somebody from the standpoint of professional is concerned. Operation manager, programmer, someone with some pull that sees something in you, you can contribute to that radio station wherever you're working at. And he or she takes the time to put you on, literally put you on and see what you can do. And just go. And for me, there were just many times I figured, you know what? I never. That's why I say never say never. I never thought I'd say to myself, Chris, why don't you just quit the whole thing? Just stop it. Ain't nobody listening to you. Ain't nobody want to be interested in what you have to say. That would get to me sometimes because it's hard to compete. And once again, and a gazillion, million, trillion, uh, whatever billion, whatever number you want to put out there to compete, to even make a dent in the whole thing. It is a journey sometimes not well taken. But the only thing you can do is take what you can get and keep moving forward. No matter what the likes are, no matter what the hearts are, no matter what the embracement is of what you're doing, take that and keep moving forward. Hey, man. Hey, it's my girl, Rachel Montgomery. Rachel, of course, went to school with me at Columbia College Chicago, also went into radio as well. It does get more real than this lady right here. If you need anybody in your corner, is Rachel Montgomery. Indeed, especially how the algorithms operate. Yeah, well, I get shit. For example, I got the hooker whores back towards me again. I don't want to ask for these hooker whores. I'm not a hooker whore client. Well, on Instagram, oh man, they're back with a vengeance. I gotta go on there, do the omnos dominoes, get your ass out of here. It just starts with one, and all of a sudden, this is what I hate. The algorithm starts, all those hooker whores come out of nowhere, and we don't know if they're real women or not because it could be anybody behind a keyboard, as you and I both know by now. Then they want to say hello to you in the chat or something like that, or the private chat or whatever. Hello. They'll do it. They'll do it. Sick. We all have highs and lows. Yes, we do. I just try to not have so many lows at times. I understand that you're the bronze god, but what in the Rick James? Yeah. Yes, I am the bronze god. Thank you. I haven't used that tag in a while. But it's true. I got into these very stream. Look, years ago when I first started doing this on, say, for example, this before I started to connect with YouTube when I was just doing Facebook Live. And then I realized these hooker whores would come onto my page or wanted me to be friends with them. Again, a trap. So when you speak to them, hello, how are you? I was bored one night. I didn't know to sit here in front. I spoke to a so-called hooker whore. That's when the terminology started to come to mind. They type hello, and then they don't type correctly in their wording. So you didn't go to school. You didn't pay attention. Where are you at from? And stuff like that there. I kid you not. This was the beginning of my quest to get rid of all hooker whores. You didn't go to school. Oh, that's right. You didn't go to school because you was out hooking during that time. That's why you didn't go to school, because you was out hooking. You was out selling ass. Shaking your ass for money. That's what you were doing. You didn't go to class. You didn't go to class because why? You were shaking ass. That's why. That should be a t-shirt. You didn't go to class because you were shaking ass. There you go. Pat Pendant. Copyright. Right here. Let's see. Yeah, hello. Now these freaks are quoting Lionel Richie. You're right. Hello. Is it me you're looking for? I wonder where you are. And I wonder what you do. I want to get with you so we can go boo boo. I don't know what. It's just stupid. These damn hooker whores, man. I'm telling you. Those are usually bots, and they're there to bait people. Of course they are. It's hilarious because they can't, you can't even spell. I've seen plenty of those scams before. Yeah, man. Yeah. And what's sad, sometimes you don't know who's real and who's not. You know what's scary? That damn AI. Barbara Jean has sent me some pictures that I've had here online and put AI in it. Scared the bejeebies out of me. I don't like it. It gives me the willies. I don't like it. When they take a picture, for example, it was a picture of me and my daughter Mattia, for example, and it was us, moving. We weren't moving. We're not. I'm not saying it was freaky looking. I don't like AI. That shit gives me the willies. I can sit here in front of. Ugh. Mm-mm. I know. Do you care for it? I mean, people out there, I'm just asking. This is a quick quote, quick survey. Are you cool with AI? Not once again, not the basketball player. AI, not Allen Iverson. Artificial intelligence. Sick types of AI be playing too much. Yes, they do. And I'm not big on AI. Yeah, thank you, Sick. I'm not big on it either. I don't like it. The picture thing is very, very freaky when once again, I'm moving around and like there was a recent picture when my youngest granddaughter Everly turned 3. And there's a picture of, so it's a picture of, well, Brianni's in the front, my oldest daughter. So it's Brianni, and then in the back is my youngest Mattia, and then Emery and Everly in an order. And to see them move around, smiling and shit, hell no. Fuck that. My oldest grandniece most definitely doesn't like those AI photos of her daughter. I don't blame her a bit. Barbara Jean, That's from Satan. That's from the depths of hell. And one time my sister Tiffany said that AI is our friend. Bullshit. Mm-mm. No, I can't rock with that. My sis don't like those AI photos, and sometimes I don't like those photos either. I don't. Freaky deaky. No. Mm-mm. Can't rock with it. I mean, God bless your ministry. Let's keep it the entire hell away from my ass. No, Lord. Eh. Man, good stuff. We're about to skedaddle. Once again, thank you. Oh, hold on. We got some more comments here before we take off. Let's see. Where are you? Okay. Let's see. I sit folk down and explain that if you are in any way creative, you should hate it. And it wastes valuable electricity and resources in the real world. Thank you, Jed. Yeah. And thank you for that. Barbara Jean, sometimes they add additional hair. They add random individuals, and we start out as black and morph into Caucasian. It's funny you mentioned that. My oldest daughter, Brianna, had a picture of my late wife, Vicky, holding Brianna when she was a baby. She had a picture of that. And I don't know what she was doing with it to manipulate it. But she showed me the after picture or whatever system she was going through, and my wife looked Hispanic. She did. She looked Hispanic. The whole face changed. They put a little weight on just the features of an Hispanic woman holding, I guess, an Hispanic version of my oldest daughter. Mm-mm. So then how you know what's real or not? Right here in plain view of our society. Sometimes those photos are inappropriate. Of course they are, Barbara Jean. Of course. They still haven't nailed the skin tones. Yeah, but you talking about a whole new nationality. Nationality. Good night. A whole new one. Step right up. You want to be white? Come on now. Want to be Hispanic? You want to be Asian? Want to be male, female? It's right at you. It's right there. Mm-mm. No, I can do without it. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. So now about to skedaddle. We went a little bit overtime. We usually got here about an hour, so we did an hour some change. Let's see. 26. Let's see. Get it here. Oh, what do you say? Oh, this is Barbara. This is not Barbara. This is a Rachel being Elf. I ain't being Elf on the shelf. I'm not being Kevin Hart in the Verizon phone commercials. Fuck that. Hell no. That's I can't deal. That's messed up. Wasn't in Rico Suave. Well, yeah, I mean, if it was a picture of me, if Brianna had that, yeah, I would have been Desi Arnaz. Vicky. That's my wife's name. Vicky. Yeah, I would have turned to Desi Arnaz. Babaloo and shit. Mm-mm. Oh, Tony Cox from Bad Santa, Sick Ties. I love Bad Santa. Man, I love that movie. I love that. And what broke my heart was that first of all, it's a great movie. I don't know about Bad Santa 2, but the first movie was out of this world. Billy Bob Thornton, Sick just mentioned about Tony Cox. The late greats of Bernie Mac and John Ritter in that movie, man. I'll tell you one thing before we get out. What you got here, Barbara Jean? See y'all next time. Hey, see you later. Take care. And you be well and safe as well, Barbara Jean. Thank you. When I saw the interaction between Bernie Mac and John Ritter in Bad Santa, I was praying to myself that they would do more movies together because their rhythm was hilarious. John Ritter's character, of course, working for the department store, and Bernie Mac playing the department store detective. Man, I was hoping they would do more. But yeah, it was their time to go. Sig, rest in peace, John Ritter and Bernie Mac. Their scenes were hilarious. I like the scene where he was like, I went to the women's big and tall, and I heard these screaming orgasms coming from the back where the dresser part is when they dress that. And this one lady was screaming, "Oh yeah, oh yeah." And then he said, that's right. You won't be able to SHIT for about a month. Now, I'm all for adult, behavior, but when you're dealing with children, oh my God. Woo wee. John Ritter was a sight in those glasses and a crew cut haircut. Yeah. And that was the second time, I believe, that he had worked with Billy Bob Thornton. The first time, I believe, on film was Sling Blade. Mhm. Well, good stuff, good stuff. Well, again, for the 18th time, we're about to part company for real this time. Again, I thank you so much for, again, the content badge that Facebook at Give Me for the second time. Thank you. That's all you. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Reconvening on Friday, 4 p.m. Central for Baseline. And that's where you get a chance to free your mind, get a chance to go over topics of the day, the week, and of course, we filter in what's inside your cranium. It's a very dangerous ride, but I will always protect you. For you know who I am. Enjoy the rest of your week. Continue to be safe. Continue to be sound. Continue to be healthy. And most importantly, above anything else, continue to be loved. Long live the peace. Long live the funk. More power to you. As always, in parting with all of you, always keep your head up.